brother.
But
Happy Thursday
yes, sir.
to you, everyone in chat. Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
happy
you, thank
Thursday.
you. Happy Thursday to everyone. You've already made it over the hump day. I don't know. Thursday should also have a day, like a name to it. It's not quite hump day, but it's
Oh,
also like
I don't know what
the
hump
not
day
quite yet
means.
there day. I guess for everybody that works nine to five, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, yeah, I don't hump day. I don't even know what that means.
It's hump day is supposed to be like the middle. It's like the middle of the week. So
Oh, I see.
it's the Wednesday is the middle of the week, like the hump
I
over
feel
to
like
get to the
Wednesday, or I
weekend.
feel like Monday's the hump.
Trademarked by some commercial having to do with a camel or
Oh,
something.
really?
I don't remember. I'm very hazy on that.
I remember something like that. What's up, the blur? What's up?
Yeah. Oh, it was. I think it was a Geico commercial,
My homie said
and it was
Monday is
like
the
a
cliff.
camel going through the office. It was like Happy Hump Day. It's
Something
Hump
like
Day.
that. Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Now it became a whole thing. Now everybody says Hump Day.
I'm dead.
The more you know.
Nah, yeah. My homie said
Welcome to
Monday is
anybody
the
that's in
cliff.
my chat. Anybody that is in Roman's chat.
Yeah,
Welcome,
welcome, guys.
welcome, welcome to Talking Out Loud.
Thinking.
For those who don't know who I am, my name is Justin Luns813 on everything. Everyone calls me Lundy. Over to my right, I'm not sure what that would look like on anybody else's screen.
Yeah, I am. Oh, yeah, I am on your. Oh, yeah, I am on your right. You're right.
It's Roman the God.
The God. Oh, I like that.
Roman the God. I call anybody that I actually really like. You got to throw that in
The
there. It
God.
makes them it boosts up the vibes. The
I
God,
fuck
you
with
got
that.
to.
The God. All right. Appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
you
But
got to.
yeah,
You got
man.
to.
Welcome everybody to the stream. Yeah, I mean, y'all know me, and the homie Luns is new to streaming, so y'all be sure to check him out. He's live. Like he said, Luns813. His little name is in my title. Just click on that, and that'll take you to his stream. Drop him a follow. We appreciate
I'm
that. But
new to
yeah,
this whole thing. I'm new to this whole thing, but we hoping to get the ball rolling.
yeah, just try some shit, just make some connections and just talk to people, talk about life, important shit.
So just as the header kind of says, talking out loud,
Thinking out
uh,
loud, bruh.
thinking. Is it thinking out loud? I keep saying
Yeah, you
talking out
keep
loud.
saying
My bad.
talking. You're good.
I think I well, and I chalked the tweet too because I
You're
think I
good.
put that
You're good.
thinking out loud.
Same thing.
It's gonna it kind of explain it in itself. I've been following Roman on Twitter for quite some time. You were on Fluid, I think, and I was a follower of Trep. Shout out Trep, who was on Fluid with you
Yeah, trip.
at the time as well. And I found your content through him one day while you were streaming, and yeah, I vibed with you pretty hard.
Thank
I
you.
thought the streams were really cool. I thought your vibe was was very chill. I like that a lot, especially when I'm chilling and watch. I'm a big watcher of video games, so not only that, but you're good. You were working what you were doing, and that was the whole thing. So
Thank you.
uh, following him for a while, I was able to, find him on Twitter, and Twitter, you can kind of get into people's heads a little bit, and something just told me that we would vibe a little bit,
Yeah.
so I reached out, and I think I gave him a couple of ideas on some things that I thought would be pretty cool, and which came into this thinking out loud, which I think what we really aim to do is kind of break a stigma on being able to talk to people. I think it's easier for people to go their day to day, kind of feeling like they're on an island, so to speak,
Yeah.
and dealing with their own issues, and just building that weight after weight after weight. And I think we want to break down the walls a little bit on, getting together, even if you don't know somebody like super well or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's just like it's just a quick reach out, asking for
Yeah.
help, asking for creating that space for yourself. Is important. So I think
Yeah.
that's what we really aim to do here. Is
For sure.
hopefully people will come in here and start feeling comfortable in their own to kind of open up, get stuff off their chest, and not necessarily look for specific like us for answers because we're not doctors, but hopefully
No.
just find a
No.
comfortability and bouncing off some ideas.
No, for sure. Like you said, like comfort and just being open. I think, especially as like men, I think a lot of times we don't think that that's the right thing to do, or we don't feel comfortable doing that. and that's like you said stigma earlier. That's like a big thing for men, and it's terrible, bro. It's really unhealthy.
Mhm.
Um, it's and it's just like gonna cause like just everybody to just move backwards in terms of like happiness and health, and especially when you're going through shit, life throws shit your way. It's kind of hard to bounce back from that when you feel like you can't really talk to nobody.
Mhm.
So it's important, bro. But yeah, like you said, man, you kind of cooked this idea up, and I appreciate it because I mean, I carry a lot of shit with me every day. Everybody does, but for me, it's just important to, like you said, I tweet some stuff out. I just tweet out like how I feel sometimes or the things that pass through my mind, stuff I'm dealing with, and a lot of people I think like resonate with that. Not everybody is as comfortable putting it out there. Not everybody feels like they really need to. You know, everybody has their own ways of going through those things, but for myself, honestly, I don't really have anybody to kind of talk to on my day-to-day basis, and so when I have these really heavy thoughts or I have these emotions that kind of I can't really put anywhere, it's just I just got to put them out somehow. And Twitter's like for me, for instance, Twitter or making videos, it's like a big X. Yeah, it's a big yeah, it's a big outlet, man.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I definitely made a Twitter out of pure just selfishness of like just thinking it was cool. And I had a friend of mine, shout out Ashton,
My
Cannonballer.
bad, Lewis. We're
He
we're 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 doing like a
I
little
don't know, between
podcast.
Instagram and Twitter, like I always saw him posting stuff like on the site.
That's
He would
crazy
show
though.
me things, and they were just so
No break
hilarious.
is
And to me, I
crazy.
was just like, Twitter just seems like a funny thought process. Like I don't know, I liked it a lot, and it just became quickly a lawless land, so to speak. If you're on Twitter long enough, you know that it's very unfiltered.
Yeah,
But with that said, like I don't know, it definitely is interesting. It's like a journal. Like I would definitely use these
yeah,
posts, and as somebody that does music and writes and stuff, like it's very natural to me to just kind of write something and put it out into the
yeah,
ether. Like it
exactly.
is what it is.
That's how I
Not
feel.
thinking that really anybody's ever going to see it or really react to it too
Yeah,
much or whatever. But it's like you're writing kind of like these things to yourself. Manifestation in a sense of it, put it out there, and it is what it is. But
yeah,
I mean, when it really comes down to it, I think like you brought up a really good point. As men specifically, I think we really want to kind of break that on just being able to know that you can talk to people, get stuff off your chest, and I know how expensive it can be to have to go to therapy
oh
and
hell
finding
yeah,
all these alternative ways, so to speak, to kind of get these things off of your chest. And sometimes it doesn't always work. The avenue alone, the journey to trying to find even a therapist that you actually vibe with
oh
is really hard.
yeah.
That's a journey within itself.
It
So I
really
think
is.
I think this is a really cool thing because I just want to kind of like I'm also, this is kind of selfishness as well. You know, thinking out loud is being brought up out of pure necessity too. Like you were saying, kind of feel like sometimes you're surrounded by people, but you can easily feel alone, or at least feel like you're burdening other people with what's going on in your life because you know that other people got stuff going on in their lives. So I think it's cool that two people that really don't know each other that well, who we're just able to kind of reach out and build a foundation on some similar thought processes.
Yeah,
Something that, like, if we can prove that to people and create a space like this here, continue this every so often, and bring people in to feel comfortable to kind of join us in these conversations, I think that's a win. And I
yeah,
think it's proving to people every day that you really, there still are good people out there. You don't have to, be too scared to maybe even ask your neighbor for maybe a lending ear, or somebody that you at least relatively trust. They don't have to be like family blood, or you know
yeah,
somebody you really know at the back of your hand. Sometimes the person that can give you a third party perspective, non-biased perspective, is somebody that you never really thought you could talk to. So
no, you're
you
absolutely
know
right.
welcome to our segment, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I feel
um
a little bit like I feel you, like you said, selfish, like because you kind of want that it's like a circle to I don't know, just share things with. You know, it kind of be convenient because therapy is not always convenient. Like it costs money, um, and you have to jump through a couple hoops to like go through the motions to get that going, and that's kind of just so it's kind of tough because like I'm already like I don't feel good. Like it's already hard enough to seek help sometimes, but now I have to pay money and I have to like just go through these hoops and it's just not fun. But I think
Especially when you're already feeling like drained, emotionally
exactly.
drained, like physically drained. Like a lot of people who feel this way can't even get up and do baseline things. And now you're asking me to
Yeah.
get up and go through this search of trying to mentally find somebody to like get this
Yeah.
shit off my chest. Like it's
Yeah, I feel like whenever I was in, I mean, when you're constantly surrounded by people, like you're part of these communities, like for instance, I would say school, like grade school, I think I always had people to talk to. Like it didn't matter. Like I always had someone. I could be in class, I could be at basketball practice, I could be hanging out at the park after school or studying after school. Like if I was going through something, there was somebody there, and I could just, chances were they like related to me or they knew the people that I was having problems with or the feelings I was going through and I could just talk to them. But like now as an adult, I don't really have that. And like especially for me, I didn't go to school. I didn't go to school and I do work, but like work is just not the best atmosphere to like kind of get stuff off your chest. So
nah.
it's yeah, it's definitely I feel like it's nice to have some people like on hand that like you could just open up to vent and feel like you can actually talk to them and not they're not just like people saying like oh you can talk to me, like they actually genuinely care about you and
Hmm.
they are interested in like your life and like seeing you be happy pretty much.
Yeah, I feel you on the work part. It's like I felt like work friends are cool and all, but like, I don't know.
They're
Sometimes it
just
can be
work
pretty
friends.
fleeting. Sometimes you don't want to, mix too much of like work and like personal life and things like that. Like, I don't know. I can't, and it's weird that I say that because I've worked in hospitality for like the majority of my life. So I feel like I've trauma bonded with like a lot of people in the industry, and some of them have like really been like my best friends. You know what I mean? And now that I'm like out of that industry and have been for some years now, it feels really weird. Like I think that's why I say I back my previous statement, because honestly, a lot of those people that I thought were like long time ride or die people that I worked for like 13 years plus, I don't speak to anymore, or
Yeah.
don't even reach out, don't send a text, don't call, and it's weird to think about that, and it makes it even harder because you feel like it shouldn't really, I don't know, it feels like it shouldn't be that way. It's weird, especially when it's on one side. I feel like I'm that kind of out, tries to say, hey, like, hope you're doing well, just even if it's been 6 months to a year, whatever. If
Yeah.
I was thinking about you or whatever, I'm gonna send you a text and say, what's up, hope you're doing well. And if that leads to a big conversation that day, cool. If you see it and don't even want to text back, cool, it's whatever. But I guess I kind of notice those energy exchanges, and
Yeah.
that kind of does a lot on my mental sometimes too.
Me too.
That's what makes me feel kind of messed up.
Dude, I feel
And you
that I
putting in a lot
struggle
of
with
effort.
that. I think like I think I'm personally really bad at like letting go of people or like recognizing when I'm giving energy to the wrong people. I recently experienced something right along the lines of that, like where there was somebody that I was like kind of giving energy to and they weren't really reciprocating it. At times they would, but it just wasn't it just wouldn't match my energy at all. And I feel like I could have eased up or like kind of separated from them like a lot longer ago, but it just I didn't. And so like in the end, I just looking back, it's kind of what's the word? It's kind of hindsight, and I just look at myself and I'm like, damn, like I could my time and energy could be used doing better things like or hanging out with people that I know like for sure love me and stuff like my family and my longtime friends that like have always been there for me and stuff. So
Yeah.
I feel you. I struggle with that, like pushing people away, and I have some like long term friends that like I know they love me and like they've been there for me, but I also feel at times I got to kind of outgrow them or something. Um, and so that's something like I'm kind of struggling with too, and I'm just not sure how to go about it. But I'm my I don't know what where I'm at now is that like I'm just gonna let things take their course naturally. If it turns out I like get away from these people and I like make new friends or make new bonds and stuff, then that's just how it goes. And if not, then I mean I'm just gonna do what I can with where I'm at right now. I guess
Yeah.
it's
That's
new
really all
ground.
you can do. It's really all you can do. Um, I think something that I've kind of realized lately is like you really have to like whatever it is that you want, you kind of just have to like create it yourself. Like in a sense, one way or another. I think that kind of brings back this whole
Yeah, I
thing
agree.
to you. It's like, and it even goes back to like making new friends. If you feel like some of your old friends weren't aren't there, or some of those other ties feel like it's cut off, or you feel like the energy is not being reciprocated, it's I think instead of thinking about or looking at it as in like burning bridges or just like I always think of it as like redirect. Like, okay, well, if this is what I'm feeling, I'm coming from you, then all the energy I was, you just kind of match it, which is really just lowering that energy or matching theirs. All the energy that you save now, you can put it to something else. So it's just a
I like
redirect as
that.
far as like just burning bridges
I like
and
that.
ending a friendship.
Yeah, I like that because sometimes I overthink it, and what I end up doing is actually just burning that bridge, which causes me like, more pain than like anything else. Pain and like it's just kind of inconvenient, like and dramatic and stuff, and so it just kind of makes things a little messier than they just need it to be. So I think that just overthinking that kind of screws me up.
Really, it just seems like it's just a reaction, because let's be honest, if you really had felt like there was a connection with somebody, no matter in any shape or form, when you kind of break that consistency of that, you feel it. Like
Yeah,
energy shifts are like some of the biggest. Like I think that's what our emotions really. They're categorized sad, whatever. But I really think they're just really huge energy shifts in like our personal personalities. We all kind of feel them a little differently, and because we're all different, we react to them differently. But they all kind of umbrella under these emotions that we all can generalize, so we can empathize with each other a little bit better. But for the most part, I think I was talking to my fiance about this. I was like, depending on like certain situations, like I think a lot of people's catalysts for certain things that they do or think, they're all different. They're all kind of like can be somewhat compared, but I think what it really comes down to is people's individual way of coping with certain things. And I think their transformation of like who they become, like some of these events or some of these energy shifts, so to speak, it's really in them, and they're actually like how their coping method is. And I think that's why a lot of people in their older ages or as they get older find themselves needing therapy, because as you go to school and as you grow up, like therapy isn't really, unless you're doing something that's like really blatant as a kid that's out of the norm, like then
yeah,
therapy to figure out where you're at and how to get you down in school, whatever. But like when it actually comes to like emotional, coping or recognizing that this child has seen something or is going through something and maybe doesn't know how to express their emotions that early in age, I think it's super overlooked. By the time they become a young adult, a regular full out adult, I don't think a lot of people realize that they don't have the coping methods that they think they do,
yeah,
and that's why we end up feeling the way that we are so later in life and almost feeling like we're behind on the
hmm.
times or that we're trying to catch up to something. All of our expectations were kind of misled or at least kind of hidden from us, or at least what was important, I think.
Yo, Lewis, I love you, bro. Have a great day. Thank you. Oh, my bad. My homie was
But no,
typing in the
you're good.
chat.
No, you're good. But that was pretty much my thought. I think
Nah, I was
coming
gonna
to
say
terms
I
with
got terrible.
creating your new space is I think is super important, and realizing like what you're necessarily out of reach. Like you got to kind of start again and reinvent yourself a few different times in your life and reevaluate relationships and things a couple different times in your life. And I think that's a big part of kind of just getting through life. People come in and out, but that's not
No, you're
necessarily a
right.
negative thing unless they've done something.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just like to redirect energy as opposed to burning a bridge, because maybe just a talk or leveling again, getting back with each other and leveling where you guys are at will an understanding of why certain things feel a certain way, and you can kind of reevaluate where your relationship is,
yeah,
as opposed to maybe just putting on something that you thought was in your head, and now you're burning this bridge because you feel some type of way and not
true.
really like
I just
explaining
be
that out.
missing people too, bro, like that. Like I miss people, and I miss like the times that we shared, like how things used to be. I think that's a big part of it too. Like I think like damn, I miss when I used to go hang with these dudes and it was like simple times and things were just simple, like at fun times. But now here I am
Hmm.
and like I got no one to kick it with and like, but back then it was all this. So like, man, I always think back to that and I think a lot of, I just hold on to that shit a lot, which is not obviously not good. But like you said, I just gotta probably just change my energy to the future and like the people that are coming into my life, the people that are probably already here. And I think, I think recently for a long time I've been like coming up short with a lot of people around me that are here, they're in my life and like they're in my vicinity. But I mean, I just I guess I'm not fully present all the time, you know. But
Would you consider these people that are around you now newer acquaintances, still older acquaintances, people you've known for a while, maybe a mix of both?
yeah, definitely a mix, definitely a mix. But yeah, that's
Okay.
something I noticed for a while. Like I'm not too good at with these kind of relationships, and like it gets a little twisted sometimes because I'm I'm like a I'm an extrovert at times, but I'm also like very introverted. Like I can be by myself, and like once I get in that zone, I can like be there for a while, and then
Hmm.
once I have to like people approach me and I just don't feel the same. Like I'm inconsistent sometimes. So it hurts me and I think it hurts me, but I don't know if it hurts them, but like just that inconsistency it's just weird. Like sometimes I want to hang out with people and then other times I just really don't. But I think that has to do for me a lot with like just working and like just being busy, like trying to achieve the goals that I have pretty much.
Yeah, I think what's kind of funny is in a roundabout way is especially in just the U.S. I can't say that I would speak for a lot of people who don't live in the U.S. so to speak, but I think like our culture here, we feel like we have to do so many things out of just like I wouldn't even call it respect. I would just literally say out of like pure
Courtesy?
like common courtesy. I guess
Yeah.
yeah. Call just so in a sense like we feel like we can't be like completely honest with people because the honesty in a way delivered would hurt more than just lying to them. So say somebody's like, dude, come to this party. You don't want to just be like, nah, dude, I don't want to party, then I'm staying in. Or like, you know what I mean? Even say
Yeah.
like, nah, I don't want it sounds like you feel like they'll take you don't want to feel bad. So you're just like, nah, I'm not really like feeling good. I'm just gonna stay in and lay out. So now they have a reason that they empathize with. But
Yeah.
people would rather just say that instead of just being straight up and being like, yo, I really am just I'm feeling it, so I'm just gonna stay inside, or like, nah,
Yeah.
whatever it is. I think that's a good like overthinking thought because I try really hard to just be pretty straightforward with
Yeah,
people.
me too.
I've lied a lot when I was younger to get things done, mainly to my
Yeah.
mom and like things like that, just to get done. And I think that resulted in something a really bad relationship that I had to fix. So I think
Yeah.
I just really, you know, made it a point to try really hard to be straightforward with people in that. But it also helps with like the stress of just kind of keep up with people. But if you're direct with them and you give them that, then they know it's like something that's out of your mind. They know who you are straight up. Like, well, no, he's just being straight up with you. Like, he could tell you this and that and whatever to make you feel better. But I'd rather somebody just be completely honest with me,
Yeah,
and
me
then I
too.
know at least how you feel and know that you're not. I don't have to take that
Yeah.
personally, so to speak.
I feel like
But I just,
yeah, I feel that. Sorry. I feel like for me my problem is not so much like I can be pretty honest with people, but what gets me is that I'm not very aware of like how I feel. Like if I have the energy to hang out with people, make the time to see people, or if yeah, I mean mainly just that like I'm not aware because I'll tell someone like I'm down for this, and then like a few minutes later I'm like damn, but
yeah.
like I've been doing shit all week. I got plans this weekend and like I want to do this and like when am I going to do this? I have to do this. So like damn. And then I'm just like, well, I already told them, so I want to go. I don't want to flake. That's probably like one of the dilemmas I struggle with a lot of times.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
I
I
was
mean,
doing
I'm
that a
trying to get
lot as
better.
of recent, so yeah, I feel the same way. There was a lot of people that would tell me about certain events and things that would come up, or like, "Hey, we're doing this in a week." I was like flip flop though. I feel like I'm better in a more um, immediate situation. Like if you call me and especially if I'm free, if it all lines up. So I say I have a day off and I'm chilling, no one's hit me up. Somebody calls me and they're like, "Dude, we're gonna meet up here in like an hour or whatever." Down, I'd be more likely to be able to do that because I know my immediate situation than if I know about something for like a whole week. And depending on what that is, especially if it's like effort, if I got to get up and leave the house and go meet, like
Yeah,
I feel like as I get closer and closer, I just will not want to do it more and more and
it's good,
more.
Hydros.
And I don't know why,
What's up,
but like
dog?
it just it eats at me, and it's almost like I come up with reasons to be like, why
Yeah,
don't you want to go, or why do
yeah,
you
me
want to do
too.
this? And especially when it's a good time, it should be get out of the house, go see some
Nah,
people.
you're
But
right. I have that
sometimes I
too.
just talk myself out of that shit.
Nah, I talk myself out of things a lot of times, but I think our feelings are probably valid. Like that's our conscience, because it's kind of like I tell myself like, all right, Roman, you got to save money, and then the next day I'm like, I want these shoes, Roman, you deserve it. Splurge a little bit, and then I'm like, damn, I'm supposed to be saving money. It's like that. Like, nah, I gotta work on this weekend. Um, but then someone asked me like, "Yo, let's do this," and I'm like, "Wow, I really want to do that." And then I go do that, and I'm like, "Damn, I was supposed to do this." And I think it's a big for me. It's like being a little unsure and like flip flopping, but and then also just lack of I guess self control and like discipline.
Yeah,
but I'm getting a lot better at that. Like I'm learning that what helps me is that just like there's certain so like it takes practice to that's like so navigating like social relationships. So it takes kind of practice because I like to please people. So naturally I feel like people want to hang out with me personally. This is gonna be me like sucking my own dick, but like a lot of people hit me up to like hang, like, a
oh
lot,
yeah,
and that's because I like the people that are in my life. I try to make them feel very loved. Like I care about them a lot. People that, and usually people hit me up. I always hit them back up. Like it doesn't matter if they're a stranger new to my life. Like I show them all like the love and energy like that I would with like my brother.
hmm
Because I think that's what people deserve, even complete strangers. Um, and so people tell me like let's hang out. I always want to be like, dude, that's so nice. Like they asked me to come to their birthday party. I want to be there. I would love to be there. I'm gonna go be there. I'm gonna be there. But then like I'm like, damn, I just got off an 8 hour shift. I streamed for 2 hours. I haven't had dinner and I gotta go to this birthday party. And I'm like, fuck. But what's helping me like is like simply telling people like let me it sounds like I'm a busy person, but I'm not like a fucking business guy or anything, but I had to tell people like, "Oh, let me look at my schedule." Like, or like, "Let me get back to you." Like, instead
yeah,
of just
man.
saying, "Oh yeah, let's go." Like, yeah, yeah, I can do that. Like, nah, I gotta tell them like, let me. I'm busy right now, or I don't even reply. That's another thing. I'm like not even replying to people. I'm taking time to reply to them because my first instinct is usually like, "Fuck yeah, let's go to the fucking baseball game." Fuck yeah, like, but I'm trying to like just slow it down and like be like, "Damn, like, you gotta stream this weekend. You haven't streamed all week. No, I can't go to the baseball game with you." But
Yeah,
it
figuring
kind of
out those
takes some
priority things
practice.
is kind of weird. Yeah, it really does. It's, I mean, like you said, it's like I have an issue with like I just have anxiety about a lot of things. Like a lot of the time I'll just be like same thing like you were saying before, like, oh, I bought these shoes or I've got this bill coming up or I need to save money, and all of those things really trump me really wanting to like go do the things I want to do or
Yeah,
get back into some type of a swing of the things that I was doing before.
yeah,
But same, I'm
like a
trying to get
flow.
better about it. Yeah, I used to have a really good flow about a lot of things, and I'm actually pretty regimented type of person.
Me
So
too.
I like being able to have somewhat of a schedule and knowing that like I'm gonna knock this out today and like just have a plan, get up, knock some stuff out, have the rest of the day to chill, whatever it is.
Yeah,
But I'm good about that. But I am trying to get a little bit better about it and kind of like let go control
yeah,
and a little bit. Some things are just out of your control. You should control the things that you can, and that can be like your rhythm. And I think everything else, there's a lot of things that just
yeah. What's
cause me
good,
so
Kate?
much
What's good,
anxiety
Blake?
that I know for a fact I can't control at all. I just need to kind of let go and let it do its own thing. And you know,
Nah, yeah,
I guess it is what it is.
yeah. I feel that, bro. It's kind of it's not all black and white. That's the thing. Like I like to be like scheduled sometimes. I like to be like a machine. Like I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna get off, I'm gonna stream, sleep, and I'm gonna run it back. But then I don't go through phases, but I think I just get stuck in those rhythms, and then a month will pass, and I'll be like, dude, I haven't seen my mom or called her in like a month, and I'm like, I should probably do that, or like I should probably make some time for myself or make some time for my friends. My homie in chat, Kate, she said she felt you on the spontaneous events. She said that's how she said she felt that like that she's better with that, which is crazy because me I like to plan shit ahead, like plan shit way ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It all has to line up though, like, and which makes it even harder in a sense to like achieve. I don't know. I'm so weird about it, but I think I like things to just be signs. I pay attention more to like
Signs?
that being like, yeah, I don't know what it is. Like something that's just like, well, I'm off today, and I don't. I don't have anything to do tomorrow, and this person hit me up, and now this is see these people like
Yeah.
like if everything starts lining up like that, like it's I have to go do it. You know what I mean? Or
I don't
like
know
I feel
signs.
so much more inclined and more like so relaxed about going to do that that it's such a for sure thing.
Yeah.
But like I don't know what it is. Like anything else, if it's something, it could be a birthday party, it could be anything. But the
Yeah.
longer I have to like think about it or like gear up for it, I
Yeah.
swear it's just gonna go downhill. And I have no idea why. I don't know
Damn.
why I do it every single time. So I've missed out on so many things just because of that. But it
Damn.
depends on what it is too. It's like normal hangs, like normal, little gets together. I wouldn't do it for like weddings and
Oh,
shit, like
oh,
things that
okay.
you know what I
Okay.
mean, like things that
Yeah.
actually are like a big events
Oh,
now. But
okay.
like these normal events, certain things that aren't necessarily highly prioritized, but things you should do just to like get out of the house, not be in your own headspace all the time, because that's
Yeah.
essentially what I would do. I would just end up coming home, from work and just chilling and whatever, like catching up or whatever, playing games. And like you said, I don't have a problem hanging out with myself, which is I think a big problem with a lot of people and why they get FOMO and stuff a lot. They just can't sit with themselves or like really entertain themselves. Like I've been grounded so much when I was younger that I just had to in that sense. Like I think I'm the funniest dude. I have the biggest, craziest imagination. Like I
Yeah.
can stare at a wall and probably survive in a room by myself so much longer than most
You
people,
might be
just on my
insane.
own bullshit.
You might
And
you might be the
yeah, so
Joker.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, so I'm fine with
Okay.
that. I don't know, hanging out with myself, playing games. That's why I kind of want to start streaming a little bit. Been streaming
Yeah.
Diablo a little bit on my own, and like talking to myself while playing Diablo, knowing that there might be people listening and watching. Like I'm fine because essentially
Yeah.
it's like I can hang with myself. I don't care.
That's
I don't
amazing.
really need people, but I do. I need to get back out there.
You built for
I like
streaming,
people.
bro.
I like the. I like that. Let me ask you though, like, what's because I'm always interested, considering the theme of like the oranges thing you were doing since episode one. What was like the first instance in your life that was like you got to stream, or like the first time you like thought anything in entertainment where you're like I can see myself doing that, like.
Oh, that's a good question. Dude, well, so I like music. I know yo, you guys in the stream by the way, y'all click the name in my title, man. Check out my homie stream. He's also live. Drop him a follow. I appreciate that. That's a good question. And he's made music, he's performed. So I really fuck with that. I love music. I love it. Like I've always loved music my whole life. I love singing and rapping. Like I like been in a talent show. I've been in some plays, but like I never fucking really
That's where
like
it
I
starts,
really
man.
done
That's
that
where it
shit.
starts.
I
That's where I
never
got
like
my
really
start
done
too,
that
bro. I
show.
promise.
But
Oh, it's
so I wouldn't say there was a time I was watching like a gamer or a streamer. I'm not actually not a big fan of like a lot of creators or streamers or gamers. Like there's no one person that like they inspire me.
right.
Sometimes I'll have phases where I'm like on a creator and I'm like just binging their shit and like I like their stuff. Um but I say for me it's more it more comes from my background like growing up. I had like I was a lot of times I would always be like the talk of the class or like I would be like the and just I would be in the mix all the time. Like I would always be in the mix like whether it was at school or whether I was gaming or whether it was in my family like I just always seemed like people like looked at me and they would like ask me something and I was just expected to say shit or like expected to have something going on. I don't know. And I feel like just all that stuff it just makes me it's made me feel like I don't know like I don't know, like I could see myself just being in like a light and like I mean, I'm a big talker. I'm a big people person and so I just feel like coming up that way and just doing it in every aspect of my life like basketball, sports, school, gaming, and now streaming. Like I just have all these people and I like to bring them together. I feel like I'm pretty good at bringing people together. So that's definitely what made me feel like I could like stream and like be on the stage pretty much and like do all right and like entertain but like put on a show and like it's just really enjoyable too. It's a lot of fun.
The calling is like something is so hard
Theater
to
kid,
describe,
a
but
little
like it's
bit.
I think it's the one thing that kind of keeps people who are creatives in any sense or shape or form, like the drive. Like we call it the drive, but I also like it's almost deeper than that. It's like a calling. Maybe it's the same thing that for anybody, whether you're a painter, whether you like to work on cars, like something
Blake,
that
what's
makes
up?
you
Thank you,
feel like
bro.
incomplete without
Fuck
it
yeah, come
almost.
on.
It
Appreciate you.
feels so crazy.
Yeah. How about
But
you?
I um well well, you know what's funny? For okay, I'll just in entertainment in a general sense, I've always kind of been told I had the voice for it. You know, like
What?
I'm not really like as I've gotten older and like
That's
just like
sick.
my energy and stuff like that. Like even like now I work at a hospital and there's so many people that have been like, "Oh, you have such a voice, like you should do radio or like whatever the case may be." But I mean, in entertainment in a general sense, I was all like music is such has been such a crazy integral part of my life. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and so both my parents are big New York music heads, which you're gonna have a lot of jazz, a lot of gospel, and a lot of hip hop. So
Yeah.
I was blessed with great, '90s, early 2000 music, and I don't know what it was, but I the way that I grew up, I think I specifically wasn't doing completely African American things. I was skateboarding, I was listening to rock music,
Stupid.
and
Hell.
so like I don't know, I was already super different in expressing myself was always like really hard. So I think being able to see myself like performing and doing music, I always like that I could and that it would probably be a thing. But to be honest, I never really put myself out there until like real late in high school. I was
Yeah.
doing band in high school and like I did French horn and marching band like in the first 2 years, and then I went
Yo,
to
what's good,
drumline the
broken?
second year. And I think once I learned like percussion and doing drumline and had the 4 years of marching in front of like stands of people and stuff like that, I think
You
that
love
was
that
like
shit.
it
You
it was
loved it?
it was a lot of fun. It taught me a lot. It was another way of me realizing that I could like play an instrument, perform music, do
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, being in front of
It's
people. So that was like
performing, bro. It's
really a
art.
lot of it. And when I got out of high school, I honestly thought I was going to be a teacher, and
Whoa.
I went to school for psychology and
Yeah.
secondary education. But I also got an opportunity to be in my first band and played
Oh, that's
drums
tight.
in like this jammy like indie rock band. I did that for like 2 years,
That's
and I
really
think that was
tight.
just like the epicenter for like writing original music, just getting in a room with four dudes, like
Damn.
writing your own stuff, going to shows, performing them,
That's cool
getting
as
into the
fuck.
studio and performing it or recording it and stuff. And
That's so cool.
I think that just like I think that whole thing really just capsulated why I felt like I needed to kind of at least be in front of people. Hip hop came much later as a necessity to find something I could do for myself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at now. I've always been able to write, and without I just started writing hip hop and writing raps and being able to meet the right people, and shout out to my producer Kona, like had my back and made me a bunch of beats, and I just started performing and doing that for really it was just
That's cool as
I
fuck.
mean, I don't know. It's always kind of been a part of me to be in front of people and talk and
Me too.
it
I
just
think I
feels like
get
what I'm
that from my
supposed to do.
mom. My mom is like really well spoken. Like um sometimes when I talk to her, like she doesn't always have her ideas together, but like you put her on the spot and it's not even like she pulls something out of her ass. It just seems like she can just yap and she can just put out this really positive energy that like it just makes you want to like just get on board like with whatever. And I feel like I kind of have that too. Like just that kind of knack to just be positive. And honestly, I think I have like the background to like I can't. You know how like they make fun of people like rappers, for instance. They like will make fun of them because they'll say like, "Nah, you didn't grow up in the ghetto or whatever. Like you didn't have a hard life. You grew up in the
Right.
suburbs or
Yeah.
some shit." Like for me,
Hmm.
I didn't grow up in the suburbs. I grew up in fucking Pasadena, Texas, which is pretty ghetto. And I grew up really
Hmm.
poor. I have a really fucking rough background. Like my parents are a mess. My dad is a druggie. Like it's
Hmm.
crazy, bro. And a lot of trauma, like CPS, a lot of shit, man. I feel like I got all this shit and like it's all adversity and like I can say that and I know people everybody wants to like not everybody, but a lot of people, a lot of guys, they want to say they overcame shit and made something out of their life, you know? And that's what I'm trying to do too. And I think I think a lot of people can like relate. I think a lot of people can relate to that. So that makes me
Yeah.
feel even more like confident in what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Funny enough that you said that because I also feel like I came from like my lineage of just like who my parents are. Like it makes complete sense on like why I feel like I need to be doing what I'm doing. But yeah, my my great grand or my not my great, but my grandfather who just passed
I'm
recently.
sorry.
He was thank you, I appreciate it. He was a pastor for this church in New York that's been around for 100 years, and
Damn.
he was pastor. He was only the second pastor of it, so he was the pastor of it for 50 years.
Damn.
But like my grandfather was a pastor, my dad was also the pastor for that church for like some time. Um, he still kind of is affiliated with the church, helps him out, especially since my grandfather just passed, so he's helping him with some transitional things. But like my mom, she's a nurse practitioner,
That's
but
cool.
she also and also she's a breast cancer survivor, so she
Wow,
does
that's
like a
amazing.
lot of thank you. She does a lot of events for breast cancer. She's also a children's book author, so
Whoa,
I feel like I
that's
have like a
cool.
knack for these kind of like,
That's
you
hella
know,
cool.
talking to people, being kind of somewhat influential in a sense.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
that's cool as fuck.
yeah, I always kind of felt like I'm supposed to kind of put myself out there in a sense,
Yeah,
like
I
it's
think
always kind of
that's
the energy is always put
I
that
think
way.
that's also where the world is right now. Like, Kate said, W mom, W mom, real.
Bro, I'm serious. I hope if my mom ever sees this, I want her to know that I'm gassing so hard. For one, my
Yeah,
mom is the pardon my French is the shit. Like my mom is
yeah,
literally shit. I know a lot of people love their parents as they should, but my mom is like, oh man,
yeah.
sorry, but cut you off.
You're
My
good,
mom's the shit.
bro.
My
I
mom
fuck
is
with that.
definitely the shit. W mom for sure. Thank
W
you for
mom. I
that.
love that, bro. Fuck. What was I saying?
My bad.
No, you're
I
good,
got
dog.
my mom so hard.
I forget what I'm saying half the time. I forget. Yo, but Chad, do you guys have any questions for us, man? If y'all get anything, Kay's asking if I was a theater kid. Nah,
I
nah.
was.
You are really.
I was. What I
I
look.
fuck
I
with
tell
it.
you what.
I mean, love
I
theater.
tell you next to the whole band thing, being in band and doing marching. I have the girlfriend that I had like my senior year before I graduated. She took me to the drama club one time when we just had nothing to do. Everybody was going to clubs. I wasn't really like in a club, so I just went with her to her club, and they were doing uh improv,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I ended up
I'm
long
sorry,
story
but
short,
that's
I
like
ended
some
up
cringy shit.
joining in on the improv thing, and I ended up like killing it. And the
Okay.
drama teacher pulled me aside afterwards. I had like never spoken to him ever,
Yeah.
met him that day,
He's like,
and
I
he pulled
need
me
you.
aside and was like, "Dude,
I need you.
he talked to me for like 10 minutes, and the next thing I know, I'm like one of the lead
The
roles
leads,
in like
hell,
Midsummer's Night's Play, or what is it,
hell, yeah,
Midsummer Night's Dream.
yeah.
Dude, and it was my first time doing a play, first time being in drama. It was like it all happened. I
That's me
also
with
did a thing for
tennis.
him where I hosted the talent show.
Yeah,
I
wow.
honestly that sent me, dude. After that, like I swear I would do acting, or I really want to do fucking voice acting. Be like my
Bro, I
next
would love the voice act.
thing,
That's so sick.
bro. I have a
Fuck
friend of
yeah.
mine, shout out Rob, that hopefully I want to get him on here one time because he's a fucking smart man.
Yeah.
Um, I want to do. He's so good at illustrations. He's
Oh
like one of
yeah.
the dude that I met that's like a kindred spirit to me. Like we're so weird together, and we can play off each other so
Oh
well.
yeah.
And come up with so many crazy ideas. And I'm like, if I could just sit in a room with him for an X amount of time, and both of us kind of come up with these plots, and like both of us just really could just run some scripts. We could play it off so easily, man. It would
Yeah.
be so great. I
That's
think it might
cool.
be something I try to do down the road.
Dude, I have shit like that too that I want to do in my life. Like I want to be in a movie. I want to try making music. I told you about that. Like
Yeah,
I want to do it all, but like unfortunately like you got to really back in and like got to make some money and like take care of
it's really
bills.
about who you know, dude. Like especially
Yeah, that
like
too.
I would, if you're looking into like wanting to do music, man, like I swear to you, like I'd start with trying to find your local people in your area, like who's making music in your area, who's
I
posted
know
up
some
on
people.
SoundCloud and stuff like
I
that,
actually know a
and
few people.
honestly, just start listening to their stuff, come kind of become like a fan somewhat of their things, or at least like know
That's
their
where I would
background a bit.
struggle. That's where I would struggle. I'm not
Try to
like
find
I'm
what you
not
like
good at
first, and then
if I
you
don't care
know.
about shit. If I don't like uh dude, I don't watch I like tap into my homie streams, but like they'll tell you I just type and then I leave. Like I just not like I wouldn't say I'm selfish, but like if I don't know,
If it
bro.
doesn't
I'm
keep
just
your
so
attention, it doesn't keep your attention. I think that's more
yeah.
telling than anything. Like at least you're not faking something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like
I show support like
I'd
if
rather you
it's
be
yeah.
straightforward with me than just be
Yeah.
like, oh, like I thought it was cool. Like
Not
if you didn't like it, just
if
tell
they're
me.
putting on a good show on their stream, my homie streams for instance, I'll be there and I'll support, I'll sub, but like if it's just like If it's not a good show, like you're just like you just press go live and you're not even looking at your chat, then like why am I gonna show you that love? But
Oh
like if
yeah,
you're
no, I've done that a bunch of times too. If you're not very much, you're not really in it. Sometimes that's cool. Sometimes I want that. I don't want. I'm just putting
yeah,
something up and I'm doing something, so it's like whatever.
that's
But yeah,
true.
no. If you want me to stay, it really like engaging, especially for the first time, like popping in your chat. Like I leave out of first time, like me being in people's chat the first time, I leave out of them because of that the most. Like if they're not really doing anything, if they're not really,
Yeah,
I don't know,
nah,
grabbing me,
no,
or
yeah.
interacting, I'm just gonna pop out.
No,
And
100p. My Kate just said that too. She said that's how she is with me. She be coming to my streams for a few minutes and then she's just like, I'm gonna head out. But that's
I
true
lurk
though.
hella. Like I'll be. I lurk. I don't know what it is, but like I lurk a lot, and
Yeah,
so like a lot of the people, you're up on the stream, and especially over like a
thank
big
you.
streamer. I could be watching Scump or something, and like if you come on, I'm putting yours on, and
Yeah,
even if I'm not like typing, I put yours on, or even like
yeah.
I'll at least open up another
The
tab and
tab.
open yours up. You
That's
know
what
what I
I do.
mean?
I always
I
tab.
like I'd rather give him the views, and even if I'm not interacting, stream
Yeah.
is up, I'm giving. Like
Nah,
I try to do something, but like
nah, that's
there are some
support.
times where I'm just hella chilling,
Yeah,
vibing. I'm not.
that's right.
So I
Like
can get that. I can get that.
it's like energy. Like it's like I just can't like give everyone everything I got. Like I gotta have some shit for myself. But like when I see my homies are like putting the time in, putting like they're doing their thing, like I'll do what I can. Like Twitter is nice because like I have somewhat of a following, so I can always like gas someone up on there, and it's like click of a button. But like being in stream and chatting for like an extended amount of time, it takes time, bro. So I
Yeah.
appreciate like the homies who come through like genuinely, and even if I know like they can't stay for a long time and stuff, like so them just stopping by, saying hello, and like they can leave, they can like tweet, they can put nonsense in the chat, like whatever, like it means like the world to me. That's how I feel. So I hope
Yeah.
that they feel the same whenever they're doing their thing, and like I do like what I can. I hope they feel the same, but like they don't really need to. But me, it means the world like whenever the homies come through and like they just fucking just show up just a little bit. Like it's nice.
Hmm.
It's like makes the world go around for me, for
Yeah.
real.
As somebody
Yeah,
that gets that, you
I
kind of
appreciate
need that.
that,
That's like
Kate.
the biggest thing with doing
Shut the
shows.
fuck up,
Like
Twitter famous.
especially doing local
Hell
shows.
no.
If you're selling tickets or
No,
anything
I
like that, I
appreciate you,
think the
Kate.
biggest thing was like trying to
I
get
barely
people
watch
out and
streamers
them just
too.
coming and being able to hang, show support, whatever. But I feel because I've done with that, like I do the same thing for like Twitch streams and things of
Yeah,
that nature. Like if I really fuck with you, then I'm
yeah,
gonna be in your chat. I'm gonna be talking when I can or whatever the case may be. I definitely give you the sub when I can and things of that nature.
people
But
can tell
also
too.
as somebody that's like trying to maybe even get like a stream started. I did the same thing with music where I couldn't get into a studio. I would just be like showing face at shows and
Yeah,
meeting people and networking. So I feel like this is kind of like that same way. I'm not necessarily
yeah,
networking so to speak because I don't have a plan. I'm just
yeah.
but I also feel like it's just like a
That's
part of
what
me
it is
making new
though.
friends.
Yeah,
I want to make new friends first, and I think like being able to be in other people's chats, support them, and actually like vibe with them. Not only am I learning something, but I'm just like actually friends.
yeah,
I think an online community of friends was just as cool to me as like me when I was had a huge core of friends that don't speak to me anymore.
yeah,
So I think I'm creating something like somewhere I can go to that could be my space that people can come in and out of time. And I think something about this online space is so much easier for people to grasp if
yeah.
you're like into that. So I don't know, a good community of
Sometimes,
friends and a community on Twitter seems uh, really cool to kind of try to build. I don't know.
nah, dude, it used to be like more, for me especially, like, and this is something that I'll just say it out loud, like, because that's what we're all about here, breaking the walls down. Like,
You thinking out loud, baby.
yeah,
Hey, you
yeah,
said the thing. You
thinking
said the
out
thing.
loud. Yeah, but so like whenever my brother passed away in 2021,
God,
dude, I started streaming in 2021. Like that's when I really started going, and like I had, it's hard for me to really remember, but I had like 500 followers on Twitch maybe, and I had like at one point I did it like a subathon and I got 400 almost 500 subscribers, and so and I was playing competing in Warzone or Call of Duty, and I was playing tournaments and my viewership was getting up there, bro, and it was good. Things were actually good. Like I'm literally getting pissed like just thinking about it. But things were going well. Things were growing.
dude.
I had
That's
momentum. I
fire,
literally
dude.
had momentum. I was a few months into streaming, and then obviously my life got turned around, and like that's no excuse for me to like fall off pretty much. But I mean, I did I got fucked by life like mentally, and so I've been going through the motions since then. But back then, like I had like a community and like Twitter, I would tweet and like these people would respond, and it wasn't like I didn't feel like important. Like it wasn't about me at all. It was more about like I'm a part of this thing. Like did I have a part in like building it, growing it? Maybe. Like you're talking about like what we're doing right now with the stream or like possibly a Discord later. Like you got to have some initiative to become a part of that community, grow it, whatever. But for me, like it wasn't just about me. It was more about everybody else, and it was nice. It's nice to have that, bro. And like
Hmm.
that's the age we're in right now. Like internet and like social media. It's it's important, bro. It's nice, and you know that's the kind of people we are. We're gamers. We're gamers, and we like to interact with people online, and it's just like real. Like my online friends are just like they're real life friends, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a whole. I can't. I've actually only have a few
Nah,
people
online
that I know
community
in like
friends
real
is
life that
nice.
are actively
Goaded.
streaming, and even one of them just like
Real
had
life
his
friends,
first
pretty much.
kids, so he hasn't. He just recently just started kind of streaming again. So it's just funny to think, because in a weird way, my generation was the people who got the internet kind of like first. So
Yeah,
like we really
true.
got through the dial up and like know what it was like in the beginning of. So you would think that like, and honestly, a lot of the most kind of like older esque. So, I don't find it coincidental that like some of the people that are like my age and older, or so to speak, are the ones who are kind of really trailblazing in one way or another. Not saying
Oh, you're
people
right.
who are younger than me aren't,
Yeah,
but it seems like so much of this weird like unfeasible thing. I think sometimes because of how many people are trying to do it, but I think that goes to say with a lot of things.
yeah,
Anything that isn't a normal avenue for success, so to speak,
yeah,
it's always going to be hard, mainly because the idea of that, like whatever idea that you come up with, you have to assume that there's been like 100 of people that have that same one, and
yeah.
so you have to kind of figure out how to, maneuver, do things differently, make it yours, whatever the case may be. But this has
Right.
probably been the easiest it is. It's your channel. It's you present yourself, and it's what you want to put out there. And I feel like there's always certain content for people out there. So,
No, yeah,
being able to kind of just reach those people and be um, relatable in one sense is super important. But give something to people too. If they're gonna be in
yeah,
your chat, like what are they gonna?
yeah.
Is my biggest thing. There's got to be some type of story. There's got to be some type of thing. Like, yeah, we're
Entertainment
talking and
or
it seems like we're just chilling, but
yeah,
I think the longer that you kind of chill with us, the more I think you have to take away. And I think that's hopefully what people are going to take away from a lot of these conversations.
yeah. I mean, who knows? It could go anywhere. It's like an energy exchange for sure. Like you're talking about energy earlier. Um,
Dude, energy is so big with me, man. I've always
I
said
love
it,
that.
even going down. I've always been like, all the way from just when I was younger, thinking that I could just pick up on people's energy. And maybe I'm just an energy person, not even knowing what that like means, but I just feel like I can pick up on people's energy pretty well. But the things that I've learned about myself, like especially more recently in the last like year or so, it
Yeah,
just everything just it makes so much sense. Like the way the way that I process things, the way that I've like gone through life, how all the things that I've experienced and am experiencing now,
yeah.
it's been a lot of inner workings, inner self, reflection,
That's sick.
and just actually being open minded to just other forms of, I don't know, seeing yourself, whether that's like astrology,
Yeah,
numerology, like
I think
and
that's
doing
cool.
alternative types of therapy, like sound therapy, hypnotize. Yeah, well, I don't know why I can't get the word out. Oh my god,
No, that's a hard word.
being hypnotized. Let's just say
Being
that.
hypnotized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's pretty
So
cool. I like that, bro. I'm a pretty open guy too, so I fuck with that. But Kate was saying that her homie or our homie Crystal is like one of her best friends, and they met off Twitter in 2014. So that kind of goes to show. Like I used to think like older people, like super older people, they have like this idea that gamers are just degenerates and like being online all the time is like terrible for you and stuff. Like they have all these like I don't know ideas, and it's just they're just off. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe there's probably some truth to it, but in reality, like I have some of my best friends and like I met them online, like and
mhm.
some of the most influential moments of my life are like or the most fun I've had has literally been in a chair like with these people just laughing. And I used to play outside and shit like all the time, but like I'm 23 now, like I'm not out here fucking playing tag at the park. Like I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
doing that. And so
I think
like
like anything, I think if we could really just call a spade, like besides unless you're like in the community of like streaming and Twitch and like watching people, you don't really know about a lot of these like top streamers and like the things that they do, whether they're good or bad. So one, I think like the coverage on the positive side of streaming, the internet and stuff like that, doesn't highlight some of the things that are negative about it, and giving people the forum of to say whatever they want, that
Yeah.
could always backfire. And so you're already looking at an older generation. Older people tend to be like trippy about change and things like that. And if you think about the 90s versus where we are now, like technology wise, we're so far ahead that like I always use my fiance's grandmother as a example because she is just scared of technology. She's scared to get a new phone. She's scared to get new internet and things like that. All these things. And she freaks out about it, but
Yeah.
it's like to make her life easier. But they don't look at it like that a lot of the time. So I think I say that to also say that there are a lot of people who are streamers who do spend a lot of time on computers or whatever the case may be, who are doing really good things, and obviously aren't harming anybody or have normal social habits and things like that. But I will also say that there are a lot of kids nowadays, probably in the younger generation that like only know this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you were saying before, like you were able to like have friends and go out and
Yeah.
play and whatever.
I
Like
can't imagine
that was
this
not our
being
only
everything
option
though.
growing up. A lot of the time, these kids that are growing up, it's one because the parents can't find another way to like keep them at bay, or like
That's
because they
terrible.
just don't have um uh a minimal amount of time to like do that and have to do. So I always just say in moderation. Like I don't
You're
think the
right.
internet, I don't think, but I also think if you give a child 8 hours a day when they, should be making friends or like
Yeah.
going to a
You're
pool or
right.
learning how to be a kid, or at least mastering their environment. Mastering their environment is the thing I could probably say about that. It's just learning to do other things, being able to like handle other people or read a book or like know that, hey, we can't do this today, and being okay with that. Us
Yeah.
being like we're okay with hanging out with ourselves and learning what that means. Like you have
Yeah.
to be able to do that, because if all you know is online and raging online, all I don't know. Sometimes you have a
Yeah.
lot of negative aspects in that, and sometimes I think that a lot of the older generations, that's what they see, that's what they focus on, because that's
Yeah,
what's kind
you're
of shoved
right.
in their
Yeah.
faces, the negative side of being.
No, you're right. Well, I guess that's another good reason we're doing this because, like, if I do put some of this online, like, for people to see, maybe people can see, like, hey, like, this is just, I mean, I hear people talk about, like, the good that is done online. Like, an example that comes to mind is, like, GoFundMe. Like, if
Hmm.
someone's house burns down, like, they can just put their story online and they get help. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that. But, like, on a smaller scale, though, like, just the connections and, like, the, camaraderie and
Hmm.
companionship that you can get online, like from strangers. Like it just it's pretty convenient, and I hate that idea that like of like convenience because like it's the easy thing to do, and I don't want to think like I just like to game because it's easy dopamine. Like I think yeah, maybe that's true, but like look at like our the world we live in now. Like everything's expensive. Like I don't have money to go like spend and like do something like I'm busy all the time. Like I got so much shit to deal with as like a young adult, and so like yeah, fuck it. Like this is the world. Like it's fucked, and like the world outside is dangerous anyways. Like people are dying outside. Like
Hmm.
people shootings, bombings, all this shit. Like yeah, I'm gonna stay home and play video games, bro. You know what I
For
mean?
real, it seems so much. I used to literally say like every time I wake up and I feel like I step out of my front door, I just hear money signs. Like
Money
just like
signs.
ching, as soon as yeah, just like my whole thing is
Oh
that I don't want to leave the house, because as soon as I leave the house, it's
yeah,
payday.
you ain't lying.
So I was just like, as soon as I leave the house, as soon as I cross through that front door threshold, just like ching, and I'm
No,
like,
you ain't
damn,
lying.
I just want to go back back inside
You're not
where it's
lying, bro.
safe.
But case talking about Roblox. I never played Roblox, but yeah,
Dude, me neither.
the
I got
shit that I've
nieces and nephew.
seen,
Well, not my niece and nephew. My fiance's niece and nephew. We're super about Roblox and stuff,
that
but I
shit
don't know anything
is
about it.
that looks terrible though. Like the stuff I've seen from that, like yeah, you play with like weirdos and shit.
Oh yeah, it's okay. So
They
I
have
definitely get the
dating.
scary
You
part
can
about
date
it.
on
It's
there
oh no,
now.
that's weird as
You can
fuck.
date like they have like some dating shit on there or something, I think. But there
That's
are a lot
tough.
of pros. Like I think gaming growing up made me smart. Like it made my brain like function really well, and so I was always good at school. And like I feel like playing also like playing nerdy games, not just playing Call of Duty, but playing like really really nerdy games or playing card games. Like I feel like if you grew up playing like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, like you learn, I don't know, you just I feel like the way it like
I like problem
makes your brain
solving.
literally problem solving, like
You
planning,
know?
like numbers, like science, literal science, like from fucking video games. Like yeah, I think it makes a big difference. But
Yeah, yeah. I definitely vibe with that. I there's something I was gonna tap onto that. Oh, for me it's nostalgia, dude. I think like go even going back to just like how we're friends and things like that. Like I had a core of friends, the ones that I grew up with. We used to do this all the time, just like the LAN parties and just grabbing multiple TVs and consoles and stuff. So to me, this is like the it's almost like the renaissance of that, you know, like being in Discord with a bunch of
yeah,
your friends and playing a game is like the closest now that we've ever been to being able to recreate like those moments and stuff. So for me, that's exactly what all to me.
yeah,
And funny enough, like Twitch, I didn't even start using Twitch until the big beginning of COVID and the shutdown. And I think it's so funny that I didn't know really about it before because even back then, like I don't know why, but I've always been a huge fan of just watching people play video games. Like
yeah.
even more than playing video games myself, I could sit and watch my
I'm
boy
not.
run their storyline or something,
I'm
and
really
I would
not.
just I would be in there.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
not a
know.
fan
I
of
just
that.
thought it was like the coolest fucking thing. You know what I mean? I've always so it connects me to just like my younger self. And
That's tight.
I think it makes the most sense to me now. That's
That's
really the
tight.
only reason why I do. It's like my cable now. I don't even have cable. I just Twitch.
No, you're right. I fuck with that though for sure. It's just like I've been getting more into watching Twitch streams, but just like I'm not like a dick rider for like these big streamers,
Oh yeah,
but I
no.
mean they're big for a reason. They're entertaining. Like they're just I like to, and I also
Some of them, I think are obnoxious or
no for
probably just
sure.
doing whatever, and it's kind
Oh
of
yeah,
wild. But
no
I
no
think I
doubt.
like sifting through some of the underdogs. I guess
Yeah
I don't know. Some people who are like really doing well may not have like thousands of people, but like I feel like they have a consistency about them. They have like a good vibe about them, something that keeps me in the chat. The chat itself is a big one
yeah
too.
yeah.
You know, that community its own,
I
people,
like that.
you know, being funny in there or like keeping things rolling
Chat can be funny
is on
as hell.
that.
Mods
Oh
are
yeah.
some of my mods like I haven't been consistent recently, but like some of my OG mods, like my homie Miguel, comedy, straight comedy. The way they
I
can
like
bully you.
that.
All right, bro. But I think we're at a good time to kind of end it out, man. Anything
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want to
yeah, yeah,
say
yeah.
before we hop out?
No, I want to obviously thank anybody who was able to kind of stick around and came in here and hung out with us, asked us some questions, or at least put in their 2 cents. I think that going down the road with these is going to be a pretty integral part. We want everybody to feel comfortable here, feeling like they can kind of chat with us and say whatever is on their chest, even if we're talking about ourselves a lot and our experiences. We want to hear experience. I want to reiterate that the end game for this is to just create a space. So again, we want people to feel comfortable, and if there's something that's going on, uh, don't feel like you can't reach out to either
Yeah,
one of us or somebody. Talk to somebody. Don't keep things
somebody.
bottled up and let it explode on you. Don't be on an island by yourself because there are people that's surrounded by you. So
Yeah,
we're going to try to create that space for you. I want to create that space for you. And again, and last but not least, thank you, Roman,
yeah. Thank
for
you,
being
bro.
very open minded to this whole experience. I think episode one was pretty cool. I
Yeah,
think we're proving to ourselves that we are we're very like minded, maybe even kindred spirits. I think we're gonna only find more about each other and bounce more ideas off it. I hope this helps both of us in our worlds, and
yeah,
I'm looking forward to doing this again.
yeah, bro. Thank you. Same to you, man. Yeah, and like you said, anybody. I think this went pretty well. I think I could just throw this on YouTube, and anybody who watches makes it to the end. Always, I mean, feel free to comment in the YouTube section, message us on Twitter, tweet at us, find us, like whatever.
Yep, yep.
I'll link my Discord for now, and yeah, man, you're never alone. Anybody going through some shit, um, what makes the world go round is just other people. So don't be an island, for sure.
Yeah. If anybody wants to hit me up, I'm very active on Twitter. My Twitter is at Lunds813,
Yeah, I'll link your shit for
LUNDZ
sure.
813. I'll try to find a really good place to link that up. Like I said, I'm kind of just starting on Twitch and getting things geared up and
Yeah,
figuring out what
I'll
everything
link
is. So
your
I'll
stuff.
get some more things linked up in my profile so it's easier to find me. But I'm always open to hear people and talk to people. I want to create a Discord for that eventually. So if you feel like you need to talk or want to reach out to either one of us, especially myself, I'm always open.
W. W, bro. All right, I think we're good to end, man.
All right, man. Thank you, Roman.
Yeah.
We will get together again and to figure out when the next one is, and of course, follow us on like Twitter and all our socials and things like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go
One
ahead
of
and end
these will
stream.
be, and follow us so you get the notifications for when we go live on Twitch. Because sometimes I do, so I like to just hang
Yeah.
and do Diablo and whatnot.